Hi, yes. Well, I'm really excited to be here and be a part of this. I have been in Gainesville since I came to the University of Florida. I went to school for journalism and then I got a second degree through Santa Fe for graphic design. I've been working in marketing for 15 years in Gainesville at a variety of, Gainesville companies. I'm currently working at Boss Hart Realty as their marketing director. In terms of outdoor stuff, it's something that's really near and dear to me. I spend most of my free time hiking and paddleboarding and swimming in the springs. I worked at the Florida Springs Institute for 3 years, and still do a lot of volunteer work through them. Um, and yeah, pretty much. I mean, I love the local trails. I love our local parks. I love, the springs and our rivers and all that kind of stuff. I spend a lot of time, even just like within our state, hiking the Florida Trail and paddling a bunch of our rivers in addition to the ones right near here. And I'm a fairly avid hiker. I just started doing a lifelong goal of section hiking the entire Appalachian Trail. I started it in October, and I plan on doing the rest coming up part of it this spring. So that's just a little bit about me, but this is something that I was, really interested in because I do care so much about Gainesville. I feel like I'm never, I grew up in Miami, but I've been here for so long and I never plan on leaving. And I love all of our, parks and green spaces and trails and yeah. So
Nice.
that's about it.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Brian Avery, you
Yes.
are an alternate.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. So I recently moved to Gainesville about 3 years ago, actually. I am a faculty member at the University of Florida in the Department of Sport Management. I have a background in recreation events and attractions industries. I've worked about 35 plus years in them collectively. So uh, in addition to being a professor at UF, I am an expert witness and I testify on behalf of people who've been injured or killed experiencing recreation and or sporting events or things of that nature. So quite familiar with the regulations, the standards, the common practices and things like that in the business. Outside of that, I do thoroughly enjoy biking, kayaking, playing golf, and tennis. Not good at any of them, but I like to be outside. So, with that said, I'm trying to become more familiar with the opportunities here in Gainesville. So I see this as an opportunity to learn, but also bring some wisdom with respect to more of a technical element to the biz.
Sounds nice. I guess Irina, maybe we can tell a little bit about each other so everybody kind of gets to know each other.
Yeah, sure. My name is Irena Melvin, and I am the chair for the Recreation Outdoor Spaces Committee here for Alachua County. And I have a little bit longer to go, I think about 4 or 5 months for the summer. And then they're going to rethink my chair position. But I've been part of ROSCO now we call it ROSCO for a while, since I remember the date vividly. It was 2016 when I became interested. I guess y'all understand that was the election year. I wanted to get involved a little more into my community for that reason. And so I too am an avid outdoors person. I have, I call them 3 boys. One is my husband, but they're very much into scouting and they like to, they hiked 120 miles out in the desert of Arizona last year, and they too want to do the AT, Melissa. So I have to get with you on that. But it's really been a pleasure to be part of the ROSCO.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
I've been in Gainesville since 2007. I'm a retired banker from Iowa. I have been involved in community all the time that I lived and grew up in Iowa. And when I came here, I'd been here about 4 months, and the county had this program. I can't remember, I don't know the exact name of it, but it was you signed up and there were 30 in the class, and we did a 8-week course on the county and went to all the various departments. And following that, I did one on Gainesville. And so that was my entree. I am currently the chair of the Public Recreation and Park Board for the city of Gainesville, and I come in to this group through that connection. We do have I think we have a seat here that, and we've always tried to keep a good communication between the two groups. I like to play golf, and I am at a point, I gave up tennis, and so I'm a firm believer in the community spaces are important to the life of any community, and that's my interest, and I want to see us, both the city and the county, continue to maintain and support our park system and trails, et cetera, outdoor recreation as best we can.
Okay, nice. I'm reading the chat here. Somebody says it's called Access or Citizens Academy, Bill?
Yes, yeah, that's it, Citizens Academy.
Okay, nice. John Morris,
I am here.
hi, tell us who you
Hey.
are.
I am the contract and project coordinator for parks. Turn my camera back on. And I basically manage all of the construction projects that we're doing at the various parks. Right now, the tennis center and Squirrel Ridge are underway. Not too long ago, we completed the Santa Fe Lake park play area and redid kind of the picnic area out there as well. So I also get involved in other duties as assigned, shall we say, when it comes to things in the parks and some of the features and amenities and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Strouser?
Yes, I'm Tim Strouser. I'm a retired employee from AT&T. We moved here in 1966. I was 10 years old. I'm currently a volunteer at Ironwood Golf Course. I'm also a volunteer with the Prairie Creek Conservation Cemetery. My wife and I live on Hogtown Creek, just south of 39th Avenue off of 13th Street. And enjoy, being, I served 8 years on the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Board from 1996 to 2004. I enjoy being involved in the community and just like being outside and being active and as much as possible and being active in the community.
Nice, thank you. Ivy?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new members. I am Ivy Bell, Senior Planner in the Alachua County Office of Planning and Development, and I am the Planning Staff Liaison to the Recreation and Open Space Advisory Committee. I have lived in and worked for Alachua County for a little over 25 years.
Nice. Thank you, Ivy. Susan Wynn?
Here. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, I'm going to start my video. Hello. I am a committee member. I am the Director of Planning and Construction for the School Board of Alachua County. And I love to be outdoors. I am a kayaker and a biker and a hiker. And really, I feel like Alachua County's spaces are really valuable asset for our community, and especially now with COVID, I think it's a source of mental and spiritual health. So I appreciate everyone on the committee and the efforts of the committee.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Jason Moore?
Just trying to start my video. I'm the Parks and Open Space Manager. I've been here almost a year now, and I have 22 years experience in Parks and Recreation, from environmental resource management to enforcement to recreation, camps and activities. And I look forward to working with the board and making these parks better than where they have been in quite a few years.
Okay, I think we got everybody. Gina, I saw Gina was here, but now she's not.
Yeah, she was having some connection issues. I resent her the link.
Okay. So Irina, what would you like to do?
Well, as you had explained, I think it was in your first email, one of the initial emails, I think it was January the 15th, that this was going to be a workshop type meeting, that we cannot take votes and hear motions on such. But anyways, so we have a few things to discuss. One I know is our work plan, and another is the project updates and such. So I guess we could hear maybe from John Morris first about how things are going with the project's updates. I know you sent them out, John, but we like to hear the latest and the greatest.
Okay, well, let me move this to the other window where the camera is. Sorry. So, the hottest off the press would be the fact that the safety fencing around the Squirrel Ridge play area, except for the adult fitness, is all down, and the kids can start using it right now. The path is 97% done. It's 2,400 feet worth of 6 foot wide plus walking path that loops around kind of the middle section of the park. And in a few days, we'll actually connect all the way out to the hard sidewalk on Williston Road.
Nice. Wow.
So the community will be able to walk in and actually walk in on the path.
Very nice. Yeah.
The shelters are up. The dog amenities were actually installed earlier today, as a matter of fact. We are pouring a little bit of concrete out at Lake Alto tomorrow to continue to work on the enhancements that are going in up there. Post Springs is the boardwalk for Post Springs is moving along like it shows in the update. Hang on, I lost a window.
Maybe I can show. Let me see.
That's okay. I found it. So we're still moving forward with the restroom at Santa Fe Lake. The Holden Dock has been awarded by Board of County Commission, and we've given the vendor notice to proceed via the purchase order. They've started to order the material right now. There's a material shortage / delay issue with almost everything, but notably aluminum, steel, pilings, pressure treated lumber, that sort of thing. So it may be about 2.5 months before they'll actually have it in stock to install it. Once we start construction, that'll take maybe a week. So it'll just magically appear, in a manner of speaking.
John, is this because the factories couldn't operate under some order from the state or states where they are?
No, not necessarily that. It's more of kind of a supply chain issue between the raw materials and then the places that we're producing things. Okay. There's also a huge amount of construction going on right now. It seems like every contractor that I know is busy and hiring, just, like actively hiring anybody they can find. And there's a material shortage. There's also a delay currently in chain link fence as well. Normally if you order chain link fence of any volume, it's a 2-week, lead time. Right now it's running more like 6 to 8 weeks, for example. But I don't think there's, one factor to it as opposed to maybe, it slowed down and all of a sudden everybody was like, hey, this is a good time to go do those projects or build or expand. And I know that there was also some tariff issues when it came to some of the steel and aluminum pricing. And some people bought in early and some people bought late, and now it's also expensive, comparatively speaking, at least. Some of the larger pressure treated timbers we use are up 20% in the last 4 months.
Wow.
But I don't think there's anything I could point to and say it's because of this or because of that, as opposed to just everybody's busy.
Yeah.
We are going to wind up bidding out the restroom for Post Springs Park. To that end, we will use the existing restroom once the boardwalk opens. And then we should have hopefully about at most 6-week window where the old unit will get demoed and then the new unit will come in. But that still has to go out to bid. We are working on doing some pavilions out at the multipurpose field at Chestnut Park. And that is to encourage organized play for the multipurpose field, whether it's flag football or soccer or other sports for out there. Right now they don't really have anywhere to set up, so it's kind of hard to encourage them to come out when there might be inclement weather or they have no real gathering place. The design for Veterans Park continues to move forward. We have settled on a schematic of the splash pad. There's a meeting tomorrow actually to discuss the restroom and its shape in reference to its location. Squirrel Ridge is coming along real well. Like I said, the play area is open. And I'm sure that we'll wind up scheduling a formal grand opening at some point. Although I don't know if that'll be maybe virtual these days or how that would work. And then that was Holden. Those are kind of the major parts and pieces.
Okay. Look, I have a question. I had this question from a citizen last week. Would there be a chance to have more soccer fields at Veterans Park or no?
Unfortunately, there's really not any more room at Veterans Park. What everybody perceives as Veterans Park is that huge area, except the area as you're looking at the park from the entrance road that goes into the park, the area to the right past the roller rink is actually not ours. We have an agreement to kind of utilize the space, but that's actually Gainesville Regional Utilities property.
Oh.
So it makes our park feel a lot bigger than it technically is in actual acreage.
Okay.
So, and we have a multi-purpose field, which actually was getting used yesterday. They were doing drills up there. There was probably like 60 kids on it. But there really isn't any more room out there for more soccer fields, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
I think I got all that down. Well, that's a lot going on for sure. So it looks like Squirrel Ridge is going to be kind of first in line to be open and access all finished, right?
Yeah, it'll be the next one that's finished.
Okay.
The one prior to that would be Santa Fe that was technically finished, not counting the restroom, which is separate money, separate project.
Okay. All right. And these are all coming out of the Wild Spaces Public Places Fund?
The majority of them are, yes. The restroom for Santa Fe is actually coming out of impact fees. But the bulk of the work that we're doing right now is Wild Spaces, yes.
Tell me again where Chestnut Park is located. I don't think I've ever been there.
It's off of, I believe it's called 35th Street. It's just past the Sheriff's Department. It's on the right-hand side. And it's about a half a mile into a community in the back end of it. And it's a park and a nature preserve actually back there. And currently it's a dead end road. Eventually it may go through, but right now it serves almost that entire community, all, behind the fire or behind the Sheriff's Department, all the way out as you're going all the way to Newman's Lake almost.
Right.
So I can get Paula a link or an address if that would help you.
I think I can envision it. So we're University and Hawthorne split, right? It's on out on off of,
As if you're going out towards Hawthorne and you're headed to Noonan's Lake.
right.
Yeah, and then after you go past the sheriff's department, you kind of go up a hill, and then at some point you kind of crest, and 35th is off on the right there, and it's across. 35th is a T intersection, and it's not too far past the cemetery that's out there.
Okay, let's check it out. Thank you, John. Anyone else have any questions or comments? The last time we
Sounds
met
like
was
a lot of
October.
activity.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, John has been busy.
As long as I keep getting my coffee, everything will be fine.
Oh gosh.
Here, the park's right here on this map, if you can see it. So Cynthia Moore Chestnut, that gives you a better concept where it's at. And it actually, that road actually dead ends into Paynes Prairie, because there's actually the old manager's residence is at the end of that road. There's a park residence, and you can get to the Gainesville Hawthorne Trail from there too.
And if you go in, if you zoom in one level, you can see, if you move it over to where you can see Noonan's Lake, you can actually see where EP Powers is in relation as well. Up just a little, Jason.
Oh,
Okay, I know where Powers is. Okay, so it's in between. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're kind of right here on the outskirts of the city limits. So yeah, Earl Powers right here.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. I think the next, I guess, item, if you want to call it that, would be that we talk about our plan, our work plan, which we were sent out a copy of that mid-January. Any thoughts, or anyone had a chance to look that over? If you haven't had it, I'm sure Paula can put you on the list and send it out. I can screen share, I think, a copy of it. Let's
screen share. Let's see.
I think this is the parks update, actually. Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Oh, did I just kick everybody out? No. Oh my God, I thought I kicked everybody out. Let me see that sharing. No, this one. Okay, do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the kind of like the plan that we were going to work on and see, review it and see what you think, add, remove things. I can email it to everybody. Like we said, we cannot really, I guess, how do we do this? We can just talk about it and say what we want to change or not, or I don't know, because we are not supposed to vote. I don't know.
You can offer suggestions, I think. On the board I'm on, we had to have a workshop because we couldn't get a quorum. We were required to meet in person. And so we had a couple of things that we were responsible to send to the City Commission of Gainesville. So we just talked about them and kept adding items onto the list.
Okay.
And, oh, you can get a comment, somebody didn't like this or that, but
right.
We never voted. It's tough.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Scroll down
before.
just to, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll give you a comment. When I saw that goals for the pocket park opportunities, and I thought those were 4 good bullet points that are on the, I think the second page.
Okay. when we started the Zooming last year, we could do everything via Zoom. Now we have to have 50% plus one members present, and the rest can be on Zoom so that we can vote and do motions.
Well, yeah, shouldn't that be something we shoot for next month now that we have the new members to meet the minimum, have so many in person? Because we
Yes.
also have to appoint a vice chair. So we do
Right.
need to trying to meet in person so we can start moving forward with some of these things and voting
Right.
on them.
We could try to do next month. I mean, we had said that we were going to meet every other month, but since we've canceled a couple meetings, we could probably shoot for, what is March? Let me see.
That would be March the 3rd is the first Wednesday.
Yes, March the 3rd. So we could try to do that. Right now we're working on playing with Polycom phone at the conference room in the Seagull building.
Mhm.
So maybe we can use that space next time and hopefully have, so we would need 3 members to come in person. And then the others could be Zoom if they want to.
Yeah, I'd like to try so that we can appoint a vice chair, and then, like we said, we can start, like we can hash out some things now and then vote on it at the next meeting
Right.
for the work plan and such.
And I'm not sure if I emailed this plan to everybody, but I will definitely do it once we're done to make sure everybody has it. Maybe you can take your own notes and suggestions, and we can all put it together, hopefully next time we meet.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I can commit to being there March 3rd. I didn't know how my shoulder was going to act today, but doing rather well. So can anyone else kind of verbally commit to being there so we can make plans?
I can as of this point.
Right. Okay, Bill, thanks. Thank you.
This is Brian. I could be as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
As
Right.
could I.
Who was that?
I can as well. I can be in person.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It is Melissa Redon?
This is Melissa, yes.
Okay.
I can be there also unless something interrupts it. As of right now, I don't have anything on the schedule.
Yeah, I think if we,
Okay.
you only have to have 3, right?
Right.
So if we do 3 this round, and then we can rotate, each meeting, rotate the 3 people that need to come or something, and then we can adjust it on the fly.
Okay.
If something's going on, someone can't make it.
Right. That sounds awesome. And
Is
then
that-
also we need to think about who you want to vote for vice chair. We can do that vote next time we meet also. What else?
And we are meeting, Paola, we're meeting, I know we were going to go to every other month, maybe because of the Zoom meetings, but are we establishing every month now?
At least, I guess we should shoot for March and April. And then once we feel like we're caught up and we can skip a month, then we'll talk about that next time. We'll make sure that we know, okay, do we need to meet them next time, April or not? And
Well, I
we'll
think
go
that'd be
from
good
there.
too, because Gina's going to the board February 9th to try to get the Cuskawilla manager position funded and advertised, and then hopefully have someone start April 1st. So there might be quite a few updates between now and April to
Okay.
where it'd be good for us to meet March and April to discuss those, because she's going to try to get the operating funding as well. Because obviously we can't do anything if they don't give us the money to operate the camp. So she's going to be making that pitch this month. And so we should have a lot to talk about next month, and then again in April.
Okay. So
And then we can talk about maybe going back to the every other
Right.
month.
Okay. let's do that then. Plan for March and April. And
Yep, that
I need
sounds
to
good.
make sure we have that room available. I'll check that out this week.
And by the way,
Paula-
Paula, tell everyone where we meet, and that way there's no confusion.
Okay,
Where
so
we
I
actually
am
meet in
trying
person.
to see if we can meet at the Seagull building. We have a conference room A over there on the first floor. That's where it would be. Did you guys meet there before, like
Yeah, yes,
before COVID times? Is that where you met?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I will send a
Question.
physical address
Okay.
to Melissa and Brian to make sure they know what we're talking about.
Here's my question, and I may
Yes.
have to go to let my repairman in. Will you send out minutes? There's still minutes kept to this workshop, aren't there?
So we are recording this meeting, and the recording of this meeting will be for public.
Okay,
We all
but
can get
will you do printed minutes?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna excuse myself to see if my repairman is here.
Okay.
So Paola, we have our goals for this year, front and center there. I think the first 4 bullet points, and then the next 4. I don't know if there's anything on the next page, but
Oh, that's it. I don't have any more.
that's it. Okay. And I believe that we're on track. I know we're only, basically a month into this year, but we did definitely accomplish what you said, what you typed there for 19 and 20, the fiscal year.
That was last year. And this is for 2021.
Scroll down just a little bit more.
That
We
one.
can see all 8 bullet points. And
Okay.
is that it? One more?
Yes, that's
Scroll
it.
down. That's all. Oh, I see it. Jason, can you explain what a pocket park is for anyone who's interested? I know we talked about this before, but just as a review.
Yeah, they're small parks, which are 1/4 acre or less. And what we've done is with Hopkins Park is we go in to buy the parcel, and then we build like a little small playground and play amenities on the parcel, and whatever we can squeeze in, basically. And these are targeted in impoverished communities, underprivileged. So because that gives them a place to go after school, a sense of that we are providing something for the community, because a lot of times they feel like we overlook them. So we're trying to push to acquire some more properties and build some more parks for these communities. And I know we met with the school board, and I think we talked about it. And Susan, or John, what is that school we met at again? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Excuse me, I'm going to get bumped off. They're turning my internet off. So I will catch up next time.
Okay.
Bill.
Nice to
All right,
see you.
bye, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Jason, we
give me
met
one
at
second.
Lake Forest Elementary.
Lake Forest, yeah, we met
Lake
at
Forest, yes.
And that we're trying to figure out something on that because the school already has the property. We're just trying to figure out where we can find some funding to help build some new play facilities there, maybe a track, some other things there that we discussed. So that's one that would be an option that we're looking at. We also have a budget presentation I'll be making in April to the board. Our department was selected to do in-depth. So I'm going to have a list of funded projects with Wild Spaces, and then all the projects that are unfunded, which Pocket Parks would be one of them. And John and I have to sit down and come up with numbers for this. But we would like to request at the board meeting when we go through this is changing the split from 90-10 to 90-20. So it would be possible for us to get some more funding out of Wild Spaces before without having to wait till 2024 to see if we renew it, and put the sales tax out again. this would actually up ours, and we would, unfortunately, we would take it from conservation. So it would just take some of the money they would be using to maybe buy properties eventually, to say, hey, if we get this money now, here's all the projects we can get done in this round if we get this extra 10%. And pocket parks would obviously be one of the priorities in that as well. So.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
What area are you specifically trying to do pocket parks? And the secondary question, is there a goal as to how many we would be doing in a year?
In a year, I don't think there's necessarily, let me look really quickly. Is this the modified? Let's see if I pull up the right one. I'm going to share my screen. I've got the presentation that we did to the board. So let me find the right. All right, where is it? All right, can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So Charlie Howder back, gosh, man, it's February of last year, March of last year, did a presentation. And I did a secondary one. So what they did was they had these criteria. So here's the kind of the criteria they're looking at. And, you know, where the poverty is and what's existing around the community. So that's what helped kind of identify things. Then they went into GIS and kind of identified some spots. Let's see where we at, like right here, Lake Forest Elementary. That was kind of one of the highest areas we needed something. So that's when the school board and we met and said, well, you know, we could do something right here on this property. They've got all this undeveloped land right here. And then you'd have something right there versus having to buy a lot and build. So I think, John, what was it, 250,000 probably roughly going right now between getting the property and developing it. So it's gone up quite substantially.
Correct.
So these were properties that we had identified in areas we had identified, communities that are lacking, Lakeshore Drive missing. So we'd like to do something over there as well. But so there's quite a few that we went through with the board, and we identified. Let me stop sharing that one and pull up this other one. That's not it.
While you're looking, Jason, that presentation is what put the potential for collaboration on my radar, and you know, leading to the meeting at Lake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep in mind, if you have locations that are near other school sites, the school board is, you know, more than willing to look at a cooperative venture. To me, it makes more sense to collaborate and you know, use the school facilities after hours than to buy, you know, other additional lots. And so just to let you know, an update, we are moving forward with playground equipment, and the superintendent had a letter to the county manager approved last night at the board to request funds to supplement what we're doing out there. So we're moving forward with that playground equipment.
Was that in trying to get some of the CRA money from that email I sent you, or was that just county?
More, we're investing about 125,000 playground equipment, and the letter was requesting that the county cooperate and match, you know, do an equal match. So we pursue the rest of, you know, the track and various other things that we discussed. So I just to let you know, that's an update that just happened.
Great.
Tonight. So just keep in mind the purpose. You know, I think it's great that this presentation happened because that put it on my radar, but keep in mind, if there's other locations you can think of where there could be a cooperative venture, we're open to that.
Okay, great. So these are the top two by Lake Forest, Beast University, and Lakeshore were the top two that we wanted to prioritize for the next two projects
Nice.
for pocket parks. And then this kind of shows you the heat map of the different areas and the clusters. But then it kind of goes into detail to show you around those neighborhoods, you know, the potential that we really were looking at. But that's great about the Lake Forest. So yeah, so that's what in a nutshell, that's kind of what we're doing. And that's, I forget what commissioner, it's kind of one of his big things he wants us to push for. So we definitely have board support. So that's why I think if we can go to the board and say, hey, you know, we have a couple more locations, if we can get some more wild spaces money along with the other improvements of other parks that we really need to do, we might be able to get some more wild spaces money sent our way.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. All good information. Thank you, Suzanne, for promoting that with the school board also, and getting those ideas using the school grounds and such off the ground. That's wonderful. All right, great. And then the next one on the work plan was the funding, which I think we just talked about. It says seek funding opportunities for parkland acquisition and expansion of existing facilities. So, you know, in collaboration with the updates that, you know, that was given earlier, you know, by John, I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing there. The next is ideas to locate concessions within parks. Is that high up on the priority list? Or is that just at places such as, with large numbers such as Poe Springs on the weekend?
Yeah, Poe does have a concessionaire. He is trying to finalize his food license. He rents canoes and kayaks. He's going to try tubing this year too from, I forget what bridge he's putting them in. They'll float back to Poe and be taken out. But he operates at Manatee Springs and what is it?
Blue Spring
state parks that he operates out of, and he has it's a really good barbecue business, food catering that he does. So once he gets that going, I think that will be pretty popular, and then we'll look at down the road of what else we may offer. But that's the only park that I'm aware of. We're talking about concessioning.
The only thing that I guess right off the top bothers that it's concern for me is the footprint of extra grass and different not the canoes and such, but just overall, if we have concessions, we're going to have wrappers and you know, I guess food containers and such. So I guess that's being addressed with that vendor.
Yeah, he would have to conform with what the county's I don't want to say that or the ordinance. I think they do have, or you know, you have to use certain materials. You can only, you know, you can't use yet eco-friendly materials like plates and napkins. All that stuff has to be biodegradable. And so yeah, he'll have to conform to all that. So that's one of those things. It's a good point to make, but yeah, I think that's what we have to make sure he's aware of as well. When he finally gets approved for his food license, we have to share that with him, and you know, say, here's the materials you have to use, and you know, he'll just add it to the cost a little bit. I mean, he bumps the price up just a little bit. It'll help cover the cost of the extra expense for getting the specialty items.
I talked with him about
Concessionaire is not responsible for picking up the trash, though. Would that be correct?
No, our staff still do it, but he'll take like his food trash. They'll take that from the concession.
Right.
They'll take that to the dumpster, but he also does like 2 or 3 river cleanups typically, where whatever river he's operating on, like where he's at Manatee and all those, he'll go out and spearhead that and do a bunch of cleanups, you know, but with groups and volunteers. And what he does is usually offers them a free meal at the end of the day. So like they try to be good stewards, like, hey, we know we're using the river, and then like 2 or 3 times a year, we're going to take people out and pick up trash and help contribute to the cleanup, since we know we're putting some of the people out there with it. So.
John, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I talked with him earlier this week, actually, and his target date for trying to be able to be fully ready to do all the food that he wants to do out there is actually end of April, very early May.
Okay. Awesome. I think people will be ready. like Melissa said, it's time. All right. The fourth bullet and the last in that category was to encourage strategies to promote citizens' use of parks. Any thoughts on that? Do we have signage, I guess? Hey, your taxpayer, the Wild Spaces Public Places is paying for this, use it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is going to be part of the bigger picture of upgrading our social media presence, which is pretty much non-existent, and our webpage needs to be reworked. And then I'd like to get park-specific Facebook and all that, but there's a lot of hoops to jump through. So I think that's some of the things we're going to be working towards over the next year or two, is getting more involved in those features.
Okay, great. I'm just rolling through these. Y'all stop me at any point. It says interaction with the Board of County Commissioner, user groups, and advisory groups. This is the last category. First bullet under that is make recommendations to the BOCC regarding issues of significance related to our advisory board here at ROSCO. So I think we're doing that effectively. We make recommendations. Second bullet, encourage appropriate recreational use of lands acquired under Alachua Forever program. I'm not the expert, so John or Jason, do you want to tell us about the Alachua Forever program? That's the conservation part of Wild Spaces Public Places.
That kind of falls more, but I'll let John kind of, because he was here when that was kind of together, but I don't think we're doing as much with that as we used to.
Right. So the Alachua Forever is essentially what we had as a sales tax generator for purchasing properties that ultimately was then renewed by the Wild Spaces Public Places. So the Alachua Forever and the conservation lands are kind of all the same, as much as some of them were bought with one fund and some of them are bought with the other. But conservation lands that's now under EPD actually does the almost the 98% majority of anything regarding both sets of their properties. So it's kind of under their umbrella, even though it used to be something that we were involved with. But the Alachua Forever program is, I want to say, which predates me, and I've been here for 5.5 years. I want to say is like on the edge of like 10 or 12 years old. So by the time I got here, all of that money was gone, and we were actually starting to try and do the justification for the new wild spaces that we're currently spending. So most of that would really kind of be under the conservation land side. We help them sometimes and they help us sometimes, but generally speaking, they're the caretaker. So we may, you guys may want to look at revising some of the language regarding that, just because it used to be more of a ROSCO function, as opposed to now it's probably more of a land conservation function from a board perspective.
Okay. All right, we'll look into the language on that, see how relevant it is, and see what we can do about updating if needed. All right, the last bullet, pardon me, the next to last is advocate for more public-private partnerships at county parks to reduce cost and improve service. And then I'll go ahead and do the last bullet, which is bring issues to the Board of County Commissioners for discussion and recommendations, which kind of links back to the top one, I think. So advocate for more public-private, that's hard to say, public-private partnerships at county parks to reduce costs and improve service.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is kind of on hold, is, right now a lot of businesses are stressed and stretched thin. So trying to get partnerships is it's probably not the right time. So hopefully when we get back into some type of routine, people are able to get back into normal business operations. That might be something we can look into.
I have a question. I was just looking at the board and dates for members. Timothy, you're about
Yes.
to expire. I don't really know how this works. If you can just keep if you want to stay. I don't really know the rules, but I'm just letting you guys know that I see that Timothy Strouser is expiring at the end of this month.
Of this month. When I was sitting here thinking, I may email you and ask you, because I was trying to search through the records that I had of my
Okay.
timeline when I started.
Okay.
Because
I believe you just have to reapply. I don't think it's a big issue under the advisory groups, and I'll try to find.
And I don't really know, I don't really know the rules, but for other boards that I've been familiar with, many times the members just vote to keep extending the person and keep the person there, and you can stay. But I don't.
We
really
want
know.
him gone. No, I'm just kidding.
right, no, I was speaking to you. I was curious about. I thought my time was coming up, but I've already got a couple of other irons in the fire, so I'm not quite sure. I thought I had a few more months, but now that we're speaking to it, I know that it's not. It's the end of this month. So it means I need to make a decision on which way I'm going, because I've already put my name in the hat for another volunteer opportunity.
Okay.
So I can't spread myself too thin.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to give it some urgent thought now that I know that my time expires at the end of the month. And within the next week or so, I'll make a decision and get back. Because I know I'm familiar with the process. Most boards allow at least probably 2 terms, and then they try to shake it up and offer others an opportunity. I've just got to decide whether or not I want to stay here or stick my toes in another pond or not.
Okay.
Another opportunity. So thank you for the update, though.
You're welcome. And I just see that Bill Berger also, he left, but he's to expire in June. So maybe we should, I will send him an email and let him know as well. And I don't know if we can keep everybody, that would be nice.
And Paula, I just sent the link.
Ooh, everybody froze.
Thank you.
Everybody froze.
Tim to the, I think it's,
who's having internet connection problems? I think I am. Can you stop reading through everything, please? Hello, hello? Everybody okay?
Yeah, Paula, you're the one, you may have to turn off your video.
Okay.
We can hear you, but it's choppy.
Okay. Okay. I hope that helps.
It seemed to help, yes.
Okay.
I can hear you. So just so we're clear, I sent a link to Tim, but it's just under Alachua County Board of County Commissioners. There's advisory board link, and then to the right, there's a panel that says online application. But I may be wrong, Tim. You may not have to go through the whole process.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll take a look at it, and as I said, I'll give it some more urgent thought now that I know the time is quickly approaching. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Do we have? I don't know.
I was just gonna. I'm sorry. I was just gonna add that historically, at least for the time that I've been here, I don't think they've ever kind of timed anyone out, as it were. So we've been open for keeping the folks that were interested in remaining on the board.
Okay.
So historically, at least for the last 5 years, at least, we've never had somebody who technically timed out.
Okay. Thank you.
So
okay.
For what that's worth.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So Mr. Strouser, you don't have to leave us. Okay.
Oh, I understand that. Thank you.
We don't want you to be, I guess, over dedicated, though. If you feel that you need to go somewhere else, we appreciate that also. So thank you. Well, it was good to talk to everyone. Great to meet you, Melissa and Brian. Thank you for coming on board, and we appreciate you. I guess, are you guys citizens at large? Is that how we're terming them, Paula?
Melissa is citizen at large, and Mr. Avery is alternate.
Oh, okay, great. Perfect. I was just thinking.
Which, if in the event that Mr. Strouser leaves, if he decides to leave us, I guess we can bump Mr. Avery to citizen at large? Is that how it works? Maybe?
Well, one of the actual advisory members, voting members, right? But we'll cross the bridge
Yeah,
when we come
exactly.
there.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so I guess our homework is to discuss the work plan. Well, not discuss it, but look at it. Paola will send that out. Any additions you want to make or that you feel needs to be included, please let her know via email, and then we will reconvene on March the 3rd at 1:30. At least some of us are going to be in person at the Siegel Building in whatever meeting room that Paola sets up.
Yes, we'll coordinate as it goes, but that's kind of like we're shooting for that day, 1:30 p.m. and at the Siegel Building. Hopefully it is available for us.
All right, great. And then the next meeting will be on April the 7th, if I have that right. That's the first Wednesday of that month at 1:30. So if you want to mark your calendars, and then we will see how we need to schedule out the rest of the time, I guess. March 3rd, April 7th,
Right.
1:30.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Paolo, for sending out the links also to the Zoom meetings for those.
No problem. And we're not changing. The Zoom is always going to be the same ID meeting and all that. I'm not changing that. So it's always the same. If you don't find it, just, yeah, it's the same. No, you don't have to change it or repeat anything.
Given that point, just made me think of something. Should we bring our own devices to the March meeting so we can have our own cameras? Or are you going to have like one and we just huddle around one laptop or what have you in the meeting room?
I think it would be best if we all bring our laptops.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
I've seen
in
it done
case,
both
because I haven't
ways,
done
and
that
it's,
before.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So if you can, for those who are going to be in person, bring your own charged up Wi-Fi device and get you hooked up maybe a little bit early, before 1:30. Okay, fair enough?
Very
Okay.
good.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody stay safe and healthy.
Stay warm.
Yes, warm too.
Take care.
Goodbye all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.